Okay, and we are live. We're all back together again. We got the gang back together, as it says in the title of the video. Um, Chris is Baka Boom is back joining me in Grover Steveland. Um, Huge week in sports. Huge week. We got a lot to cover, so we're implementing 5 minute per
Whoa.
segment, right, Chris? Chris left.
Anytime like before 2 o'clock tomorrow.
What? Oh, okay. Chris
Yeah,
left
dude, I
us
don't care.
like
If you're
usual.
doing this for me,
Want to
I'll
wrap it, start over?
I'll love you forever, and
No,
you don't
it's
need
all
to do
right.
anything. Just
Yeah.
just if you
So
just yeah,
let's
anytime
see.
by 2, I don't care. I just love you so much for doing it.
I
Wrap
kind of
it.
want. I kind of want this on air.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. All right, love you. Bye.
Love you too,
And I'm
Chris.
back. I'm
Love you
back. I'm
too.
back.
We heard that.
Oh, that was my boss.
Yeah, sure it was.
I swear to God.
That's why.
I told my boss I just loved him. That was a man I just got off the phone with.
Oh, okay. All right. So
He's ready. He's doing something for me. That's not sexual at all, but
a little bit.
he's taking care of it. So I have to love him.
Okay.
All right. So what are we doing here? We're talking Giants or some shit?
All right. We're gonna start it up. We're starting it off with the rivalry of all rivalries. This started. It started way back when, but for Michael Kay versus Mike Francesa. Michael Kay on Wednesday, went on this 7-minute rant about Francesa, saying the dude that A-Rod, that he's a liar, that he got kicked off, yes, because he is like power hungry or whatever. Steve, what do you got about that?
Well, he left Yes. I mean, it was probably a good idea for Yes because Francesa cost a lot, and I don't think Yes was willing to dish it out anymore. But the rant that Kay went on was ridiculous. Kay just he has such an inferiority complex, and he just needs to. He takes a shot at Francesa every 6 months, and it's sad. No one likes Kay's show. He's such a boring. He doesn't have an original thought.
Yeah, the only time I listen to Michael Kay is when Francesa is in commercial break, which is 90% of the time. What about you, Chris?
I'm never really much of an afternoon guy. I was always more morning back in New York, but my mom loves Francesa, so she always tells me about the shit that he does, and I hate Michael Kay as a broadcaster. I won't watch Yankee games because of Michael Kay. He's the most boring, apathetic, sorry excuse for a sports newscaster, sports journalist, whatever you want to call him, sports talking head that I have ever encountered in my life, and how he ruins possibly one of the greatest sports franchises of all time with his blabber is mind-numbing to me.
And he is just as bad. He's just as bad during his show. He never does anything real. All he does is talk about fictional trades and he blows shit out of proportion. You can't listen to his show because it's just he's not interesting, and I think he realizes that, so he just has to start these things where he just has to take shots at Mike Francesa, who is an actual radio show host, and it just turns out where Michael Kay just looks like an idiot.
You know when the only time I listen to Michael Kay is?
When
I'm flipping from SNY down to ESPN and I get caught on Yes for a couple seconds too long. Only time I ever listen to Michael Kay. But today, I heard the whole Michael Kay comments yesterday, and I had free time at 1 o'clock today when Francesa comes on the air, and I was sitting in my house. I wasn't watching the summer, and I had a radio in my house. First time I've ever listened to the radio in my house in years, just because I wanted to hear what Francesa was going to say at 1 p.m. about Michael Kay and the comments he made yesterday. It was compelling radio.
Yeah, originally he wasn't going to say anything because he's classy. But then the caller,
Mike from Montclair.
Mike from Montclair.
The clip is online. It's on our website. But the caller's like provoking Francesa,
Yeah.
and you can see he slowly wants to talk about it more and more. Like, because if he really didn't want to talk about it, he would have just cut the guy off. But then he finally pokes and pokes and pokes, and out comes the beast, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
The best part for me was when he's like, I focus on 3 things, and then he went on to name 4 things.
And then the Mink Man.
And the Mink Man.
I got the Mink Man. What else can I need?
It was like resume, wealth or something.
No,
paycheck, resume, paycheck,
paychecks. I just listed
rate,
Longevity.
longevity, and then ratings. He
Yeah.
said 3 things and named 4. Unbelievable.
classic
Unbelievable.
Francesa because he just was like, oh wait, I have one more thing. Oh, that was great. Back after this.
What about when he ruined the Jets last week? We're talking like a week and a half ago now. That was one of the funniest things I have ever heard come from, like, I guess from him and really anybody. That was unbelievable.
It was gold. The thing was, it wasn't even like one of those Francesa rants that like I just hate to listen to because it's like it just pisses me off. He was spot on with everything he said. Everything that he was talking about was like it encapsulated how I felt about this year. What was it? Kyle Orton threw for 9,000 yards. 9,000 yards.
It takes Jets 3 years! 3 years!
3 years to get 159 yards receiving. 3 years.
It was, yeah, it was just like with what happened with Olbermann last year when Olbermann was calling out Francesa. It's just everyone wants to take shots at the king, and if you take shots at the king, you best not miss.
But you miss him every time though. You can't hit him.
Untouchable.
Well, because of his longevity, ratings, paychecks, and the Mink Man. That's why. Like, that's why. He has everything on them. He was number 1 back in 1989 with Dog, and he's number 1 now. That was my favorite quote. I got chills when he said that. All right, so we're going to move on. That was a pretty quick segment. That might have been our quickest segment ever. Transitions are weird. We're going to go Rangers because usually we go football, but football's just irrelevant in New York now. So we're going to do hockey because these 2 teams are actually good. So we'll start off with the Rangers. Chris, resident Rangers fan here, along with myself, but you're first.
Honestly, this team is going to be nice once again. Once Stepan comes back, and now you got Nash. Whoa! Oh! Can you guys hear that, Kyle?
What?
Did you guys hear that?
No.
I set up a timer because I left my phone on the other side of the room after I got done talking to my boss. And I was like, oh shit, well now we have no timer for the segments. And since that last one was short, the alarm didn't go off just until the middle of my speech right there. And I got this crazy alarm going. Got this alarm going in my ears, and it threw me off for a second.
You're really cutting into the segment, Chris. You're really taking your sweet old time.
Okay. No, but my point is that Rick Nash is playing out his mind right now. Brassard's net and game winners, which is what we need out of him if we give him that 5-year, $25 million contract. Anthony Duclair is going to be a stud before we know it. Backline's hopefully going to get healthy. King is going to still be the king, and Cam Ward is the best backup goalie in the league.
Cam Talbot.
What I say, Cam Ward?
Cam Ward.
Shit.
Almost had it. You were really good there, and then you just messed up at the end.
Cam Ward. Oh my God, what an idiot! I got his first name though.
Yeah, you did, but that was all great.
Okay, but
one thing
my point is,
thing I'd add to that is what I was worried about early in the season, especially when what's his name went down, Boyle, Dan Boyle, when he went down was the power play. But our power play last 3 games has just looked fantastic, and that's been a problem for these Rangers teams since the beginning of the Tortorella era. And I think if we can we have a bunch of scorers on our team. St. Louis is playing better. Nash, obviously one of the best players in the NHL right now. Duclair is faster than everybody. He's faster than Kreider, which is tough to do. Everybody's playing well right now. I just think Rangers Town is looking good. Now, on to a town that was looking good for a while. How
Yeah,
about those Isles, Steve?
they started slumping a little bit. They started off real hot, and then haven't been playing that well recently. It's just the power play hasn't been good. The goalies haven't been good, and then when it rains, it pours, and just the breaks don't go your way when you're not playing well, and just like stupid things are happening. Uh, and whatever. I mean, they've been hard to follow. They've been on like the West Coast road trip, so all the games are like 10:30. They drop the puck. I'm up late every night watching the Isles, and it's just been terrible to my health as a human being. Big win last night though. They beat the Ducks in Anaheim in overtime. Tavares had 2 goals, Okposo had 1, and Halak was pretty much standing on his head in the net the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, when early in the season, it's still early in the season, but I meant, first few games, I was extremely worried because even though I wasn't saying it, I thought the Isles were going to be great and the Rangers were going to be awful, and I could not do that for 8 months, 7 months. I couldn't do it. So now, when things are going back to normal a little bit, I'm a little bit happier. Smiles are actually coming to my face.
Yeah, they'll be fine. I mean, it's good.
It's still early.
Yeah, it's good to hit your rough patch early in the year and get all the kinks out, and like they're still going through growing pains because they're such a different team from last year. So many new players. They'll be fine in the long run. It's just they're slumping right now. I'd rather them slump in November than them slump in May.
That's exactly what the Rangers did last year. They were a train wreck first like 10, 15 games, and now that they went on to go win the East. So, I mean, Isles shouldn't necessarily be discouraged. I think that they'll find a way to be a good team and contend a little bit this year.
Yeah.
Corey Conacher has just been playing horribly, though. I mean, they just bumped him down. He was on the starting line. He's never been on a starting line before, and he had for the first 7 games, he had 1 point.
That's kind of like what's his name, Tanner Glass for the Rangers. He's just been terrible, and he's just still in the starting lineup because we need an enforcer. But I think when it comes down to it, it's going to be either when Stepan comes back, it's going to be between Tanner Glass and Anthony Duclair, and I think they're going to realize that Duclair's going to play well enough that they got to keep him up.
Yeah, they just announced they're bumping Conacher down for Cizikas.
All right, that's hockey for the week being. Now, something we all agree on. I was petrified after that opening night loss to the Bulls, but the Knicks, I don't really know what to think, but they look pretty good.
Well, they don't really look good. I mean, they're what we kind of expected. They're going to be all right. They're
2-3.
Yeah.
They're going to finish 500 this year.
Yeah, they still don't have Calderon back, but I guess that's canceled out the fact that they don't have Bargnani.
Yeah. Still, I mean, I'm just looking at those 2 wins. Obviously, the win against the Cavs doesn't look as good as it did that night.
Yeah.
The win against the Hornets looks a little better. But I just think that watching this, my expectations for the Knicks were rock bottom. I just thought I was trying to convince myself. It's like what I do with the Jets. I was trying to convince myself that the Knicks were going to be good when I really kind of knew in the back of my mind that they were going to be awful. And a week in, 5 games in, I'm thinking a lot differently. I think that they're going to be a better team than I thought they would. I think what you guys are saying is pretty right.
I think they're going to go 500. They're not going to be anything great. They're not going to be any. I mean, 500 in the East is a playoffs team.
Let's see. We got.
That being said, I don't see why they can't take a 7 or 8 seed.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I would love to take a 7 or 8 seed. because by then, who would we be playing? Probably like there's the
Chicago or
Chicago.
Cleveland.
Cleveland. I'm assuming Cleveland's going to get it together.
yeah.
Cleveland absolutely is. They 100% are.
Yeah, but how long will it take? Like,
Did you see, by the way, Kyrie Irving has 36 shot attempts since his last assist?
yeah, I saw that stat. That's nuts.
For a point guard, that's preposterous.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna get it together, but they might implode before they get it together. And
Wait, are we talking about the Knicks or are we talking about the Cavs?
the Cavs. I'm talking about the Cavs. They have three guys who have. Well, LeBron has obviously played, not individually, but the other two guys, Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, have never had any help on their team ever. Like, they just and so. I think it might take them 20, 25 games to actually get it started, and I don't know. That's a 4 seed if they really get it going.
All right,
But
but
come playoff time, they're going to be a tough team to beat.
yeah, if they're playing well come playoff time, I mean it's going to be tough for anyone to beat them. If they're playing what they should be playing and like regardless of what seed they end up getting because of their start.
Yeah.
I mean,
But yeah, the Knicks. I'm excited. I love Shump. Shump is playing well. Carmelo is not playing very well, but I think that he's just adjusting to the triangle, and that's tough for a superstar.
I mean, what I don't really understand the triangle because I'm a simple mind and the triangle is
Okay, I'm going to draw a triangle for you, Steve.
But isn't it supposed to be a lot of passing?
Here we go. Here's a triangle. And
Is
here's
that not
what,
what the triangle's
here's what
supposed to
comes
be?
out of it. Winning. Winning
Yeah.
comes out of the triangle. You don't have to understand it. You just have
The
to know.
triangle it's supposed to be a lot of passing and finding good shots.
I think the triangle's like Santa Claus. If you believe in it, it works.
I'm trying to realistic basketball analysis over here, and you're talking.
Okay,
about
go for it. I'll give you the floor.
It's supposed to be a lot of passing and finding the open shot. All I'm seeing is all ISO and then chuck up a horrible shot with no time left on the shot clock. Every time I watch, that's all I see.
Okay, what I'm seeing is you need a big guy who can pass. And that's why they love Bargnani so much, because he could do that. You need a big guy who can pass and shoot. And they don't really have that right now, but it's a lot of backdoor cuts, and it's a lot of motion, and it's a lot of constant moving, and so it's a lot of moving parts that the Knicks are going to have to get used to. But until they get a big guy, I think that's why they're trying to trade for Copeland, because you need a big guy who can run the middle of the triangle, and really what they're kind of running it's almost like a modified triangle, because like they're really just running it and then giving it to Carmelo and then seeing what he can do with it.
That trade for Copeland, I was hearing it might be just Smith for Copeland straight up.
It might have to be the Knicks are going to have to eat some of Smith's contract, and they'll have to give probably a second round pick.
What?
I think they might have to give up a second round pick.
Give up J.R. Smith,
Dude,
and a second round pick for Chris
dude,
Copeland?
Copeland's averaging 16 points a game this year.
We're 5 games into the season.
Yeah.
Okay,
I understand Smith and a little bit of contract, but
that's like something like 90 points.
why would Vogel is still the coach in Indiana? He didn't get fired after last year, right?
I don't think
No.
so.
He's still there.
Why would he want I think J.R. Smith would not fit at all into what.
Well, they would want J.R. Smith because he's coming off the books, and Copeland isn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I just made up the second rounder, but I think if you're taking a pain in the ass like J.R. Smith, you got to give something else. Besides,
Yeah,
even the contract is kind of something.
I'm not into giving up draft picks with how many
because
in the past like just 5 years we've had like 3 picks.
Yeah, that's true.
Not in the business of giving up picks.
Nope. All right, let's move on to.
And of course, the one year we had a first round pick, we did well and like didn't get a first round pick until like the 20s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Let's move on to.
But Tim Hardaway Jr. is still my boy.
Tim Hardaway Jr. is awesome. We love him. All right, so we're gonna talk Giants now because I'm just putting off talking about the Jets. I really am. We're gonna talk Giants. Who wants to go first, Chris or Steve?
I mean, they had a chance last week to gain ground. They could have gained a game on both the Eagles and the Cowboys since they both lost, and they came out flat. They come out flat in pretty much every big game, and they're done. They have no life. Antrell Roll said it in his interview, and people made a huge deal about it. He said that the team has no spark. They're not playing with any heart.
Yeah, but it's true. You can see that defense, they just came out of a coma. That offensive line looks like they belong on a high school field. And that wide receiver core looked like they just came out of the Rule 5 MLB draft. Like, who are these guys? Why are we targeting Preston Parker 4 times? Why is he on the field? Why is he on the Giants? Like, do you realize J-Rod Holsley will start at cornerback this week? Do you not know how much that makes me want to put a bullet in my brain? That's horrifying to have him as a starting cornerback. This team's in utter disarray right now, and honestly, they're one game from a free fall.
I mean, they lost their 4 best players on the team. Or 4 of the 5 best players, with Amukamara, Beeson, Cruz, and Jennings. Since Jennings got hurt, they have not been able to run the ball at all.
Do you think that has something to do with Andre Williams? I think it has something to do with Andre Williams.
I think he's not ready to be the 1 back. He can be a 2.
Yeah. I think he needs more time to learn how to hit an NFL hole.
Yeah, he missed a lot of holes.
Obviously they're not there all the time because
they were running great. They were running great when Jennings was in the lineup, when he was healthy.
Yeah.
They're moving the ball, and that's when they got those 3 wins in a row, and everyone was high on the Giants. And then Jennings got hurt in that 3rd game against the Falcons.
Yeah, Jennings was awesome. I just noticed because he was on my fantasy team. Jennings was lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, he was great.
He was fantastic. But once a running back like that goes down, you can't just plug a guy in, especially a rookie.
Yeah. I think in the offseason, you can't fire Coughlin. I think you have to ask him politely to retire. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame coach. You can't really fire him.
With the offensive coordinator. What's his name?
I mean,
Gilbride.
What'd you say?
They
basically did the same thing with Kevin Gilbride.
Yeah.
They gave him a little bit like, hey, you're retiring today. Happy retirement.
And I don't know what to do about Jerry Reese, because sometimes he's great. He made a lot of moves this offseason. He has not addressed the linebacking core in a decade. We have not had a good linebacker since Antonio Pierce retired in 2008. It was the last time
Antonio Pierce.
That's been the weakest spot for years, and we've not addressed it.
Yeah, every year.
I mean, he tried with John Beeson, but that didn't work out because he gets hurt every game.
Well, at least you guys have you got ODJ, Odell Beckham Jr.
ODB.
Odell. Oh, I did Odell Beckham Jr. Okay, Odell Beckham Jr. Dude is filthy.
He's nice.
He is going to be good. He's good.
See, that's why I'm confused with Reese, because he drafts probably better. He might be the best at drafting. I mean, the Giants always have great draft picks. This offseason, they went out. They signed Rogers Cromartie. They signed who's the cornerback they got from Seahawks?
Walter
Thurmond. They got Schwartz from Kansas City. They got another offensive lineman. They went out. They got Jennings. They made a lot of moves, and then they're just not playing well. So maybe that's
No,
Coughlin.
his job is safe. The Maras and the Tisches don't like to fire their general managers historically.
Yeah, I think.
So I think he's around for a while. Whether or not that needs to be said, whether or not that needs to be changed, I don't think it will. I think what will change, honestly, is the defensive coordinator's job. I don't think Perry Fewell's coming back next year.
I feel like you
Perry
guys have
Fewell's
wanted to
system-
fire Perry Fewell for the last 4 years.
No, he was great in our Super Bowl run because we
Well,
won a Super Bowl.
He also
4 years ago.
his whole defensive scheme in the Super Bowl run was having all those
Pass rush.
defensive linemen, and we don't have them anymore. We don't have Tuck or Umenyiora anymore, so we can't do that. It was the NASCAR formation. It was JPP, Tuck, Umenyiora, and Kiwanuka.
And they're just not the same.
JPP, and Tuck's gone, and so is Umenyiora. So.
I haven't seen Kiwanuka do anything the entire year. But
Yeah.
you know what? But you know what is the good thing about this? We're not the Jets.
That's a great transition there, Chris. That was fantastic. Flawless. Should I go on a Francesa-esque rant right now?
Just give me some raw emotion. You have 1 minute of raw emotion. Go.
This is raw emotion. It's just fucking pathetic. It's just fucking pathetic. I cannot watch these games anymore. I sit there on Sunday and I order my wings. I sit down for 3 fucking hours to try and watch a team that's trying to resemble a football team. It is painful. It's more than painful. We don't have a fucking quarterback. We don't have a fucking offensive line. We don't have a goddamn defense. We don't have a coach, a general manager. Our owner doesn't want to talk to anybody. We're flying planes over practice to fire the general manager. We just put up a fucking billboard trying to get the general manager fired. I can't fucking do this anymore. I'm going to blow brains out if I have to watch one more Jets game. I thought this week was a bye week. I was so excited just to be able to not watch the Jets for a week. No, we have the fucking Steelers. We're going to lose by 50. It's just awful. It is terrible. I'm out of breath. Oh, and fucking we ruined. I'm not saying Mark Sanchez is a Pro Bowler. Okay, I'm not saying Mark Sanchez is a Pro Bowler, but the dude played well on Sunday, and I just can't even fathom how bad we are at putting quarterbacks together. I listed the quarterbacks under Rex Ryan. We got Mark Sanchez, Kellen Clemens, Matt Sims, Michael Vick, and
Mark Brunell.
Mark Brunell. That is the most lackluster ragtag group of quarterbacks I have ever heard of in my life. That is like if you're drafting a team in Madden and you forget to pick a quarterback until the 40th round. That's who you get. That's what the Jets are, except that's our entire team. We're an entire team of 40-round picks. Most of our team wasn't even drafted. We had 14 picks in the draft this year. Guess how many are on our roster that aren't injured? 2. 2 out of 14.
Who are they?
We got Amaro and Pryor, who we just benched. I'm gonna do 2 divided by 14 real fast. Let's see, 2 divided by 14 times 100. That's 14%, I think, right? No, wrong. Yeah, I don't fucking care. It's not my job. That's not my job. My job isn't to draft the fucking players.
This is so absurd. Why are you doing numbers? Why are you crunching numbers in my face right
That's
now?
the only solace I could take.
The fact I can't believe Idzik trots this team out every week. How do you?
The fact that he puts his name on this team every single week, and I'm not saying Rex Ryan is a good coach, but the fact that he's giving this team to Rex Ryan, it's just not fair. It's just I likened this to you've obviously seen Major League. This is like when the owner and the general manager were conspiring to bring down the team so they could move to Miami. I wouldn't be shocked if that was the case. We are so bad, and we have been so bad since we made the AFC Championship in 2010. It has just been a downhill slide ever since the butt fumble. And I know that's like we were 7-3 at that time, and there hasn't been one good thing to happen since then, besides maybe drafting like Muhammad Wilkerson. And even now, he hasn't done shit this year. He has like 4 sacks. We have no cornerbacks. We're trotting out guys who we didn't even have on our practice squad, like who are getting cut from other guys' practice squads. It's fucking awful. You guys have never had to go through this pain week in and week out.
We're all Mets fans, Owen.
It's not that bad. I mean, it's worse. It's worse right now. This is worse than what was the worst year to be a Mets fan? Was it 2009? You think?
Probably. They all got hurt.
Everybody got hurt, or like the last 2 weeks of 2007. This is what the last 2 weeks of 2007 for being a Mets fan is what it feels like year round being a Jets fan. It's just I can't even talk about it. Although I just did.
No. One thing I want to say is the pure sadness in your voice where you're like, ever since the butt fumble, just like you choked up a little bit there. Choked up a little bit.
It's true, though. It's true. I want to look at our record pre-butt fumble and post-butt fumble, and you're going to see it is vastly different.
Silver lining, I have Ben Roethlisberger on my fantasy team going against the Jets secondary.
Okay, so you're going to win.
He's projected to score 35 points.
Our number one cornerback was a linebacker in college who we converted to safety, who we then converted to cornerback in the 3rd game of the preseason because we lost all our cornerbacks. That's who our number one cornerback was. And we're getting upset that he's getting burned on every play by Sammy Watkins? Oh, I didn't know that he was supposed to be Darrell fucking Revis. It's just...
And John Idzik chose not to re-sign Cromartie and not to go after Thurmond or DRC.
Yeah, it's a good thing Cromartie only has like 4 interceptions this year. He wouldn't talk to Rogers Cromartie. He wouldn't talk to Cromartie. He wouldn't talk to Revis. But the thing is, our corners aren't our only problem. Our linebackers suck. Our defensive line is okay. Our safeties suck. Our offensive line, D'Brickashaw Ferguson, is the most overrated left tackle in the NFL. Nick Mangold is way past his prime. It's Swiss cheese getting through that offensive line. Chris Johnson looks like he's 105. Chris Ivory has taken a pounding. He started out so hot, but you can only get hit so many times at the line of scrimmage, and not be great. Like it's just our wide receivers. I'll give us this. Our wide receivers we're in a much better situation wideout wise. So once we get a quarterback. You want to hear my plan? Okay, here's my plan. Here we go. We sign, because I think Brian Hoyer is sticking around in Cleveland. I think we sign Brian Hoyer in the offseason. We don't draft a quarterback. Don't draft Mariota or Winston, because those are 2 busts.
Winston, which is going to be the most Jets move ever.
It is. He's a bust waiting to happen. He's Jamarcus Russell 2.0. It's like, so we gotta sign a quarterback who can hold his own. 55-60% completion percentage. Like a guy who doesn't turn the ball over.
A Mark Sanchez before The butt fumble.
Sanchez before butt fumble. Sanchez before we wanted Sanchez to throw it 40 times a game. Sanchez, who throws it 20 to 25 times a game, is a middle-of-the-road quarterback, and that's fine. I'd be fine taking Sanchez back. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Then I think our wide receivers, I think we should probably draft another wide receiver somewhere in the draft, not first round, because we're not wasting the number 2 or 3 pick on a wide receiver. We need to draft We need to draft at least 2 offensive linemen, one in the first round. A running game, Bilal Powell. We need to give him more carries. The dude, he's nice. A defense. I don't even know where to go with the defense. I would say just throw money at cornerbacks, but that's not going to stick. We need a cornerback from the draft, but we don't have 50 first-round picks. And obviously this all starts with cleaning house. I said this in a blog I wrote, we don't need to trim the fat. We need full-on liposuction. We need to just clean everybody out. Get rid of Idzik. Get rid of Rex. Stick Gino so far down the depth chart that he doesn't even know he's on a football team anymore. I would say he doesn't even know what time is anymore, but he doesn't. We're a fucking mess, and we are never, ever coming out of it.
Whoa, man. I feel this is just a huge group therapy session right now for you.
It's like an intervention, stop watching the Jets games.
What happened to the defensive line? Because everyone
the defensive line is good. The defensive line is good, but you can't get to the quarterback in a half a second.
It's true.
The quarterback gets the ball, and the receivers are already open. You can't get to the quarterback in a half a second. That's why. So we go back to the Packers game. We were putting so much pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and then he's like, oh, wait, Jordy Nelson's open every single time. I'll just throw it to him the second I get the ball. And they came back and just tore us apart, and every single quarterback has done that since then. I don't know. Fuck it.
Hey, man, it's okay, because I'm sure Marist's college team is doing really well right now.
Dude, we've won more games than the Jets this year. That's all I can say. And we were on the SportsCenter not top 10 because on a kickoff, we let the kicker of the other team return his own kick for a touchdown.
I saw that.
Don't think that's ever happened before. I blogged it at 1:30 in the morning, but I blogged it. Marist sucks at football. Our basketball, we went viral the other day because at our Midnight Madness thing, some kid hit a half-court shot for $10,000. So that's 1/5 of his tuition for the year. But so everything's coming up roses right now for me. I'm doing really well. All right, let's move on because I can't. I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
I was trying to segue you into college football there, but you didn't take it. You didn't bite the bait.
I thought we were gonna do baseball next.
Oh, all right.
World Series recap. Last show was pre-Game 7. This is post-Game 7. Did it live up to your expectations, Steve?
Quite a bit past post-Game 7.
A little bit.
It's just, how does this Giants team just keep winning?
It's unbelievable.
I mean, you look at, Sandoval, Posey, Bumgarner are all great, but other than that, the rest of this team isn't really that special, and they've won 3 World Series in 5 years.
I don't have. If I knew, I'd say something, but
I feel like other than those 3, they've been doing it with completely different guys. They had Lincecum, they had Kane. Didn't they have Cody Ross, David Ross, whatever? Ross, wasn't he the World Series MVP one of their 2010?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. If I had any clue, I'd say something. but they're a boring team, and in baseball, boring teams win. I guess that's just.
I mean, I don't dislike him. I mean, I didn't really like him that much, but then Bumgarner, it's hard to root against what he just did.
Oh, unbelievable.
Dude, it's
How
just
crazy. He's dominant. I've never seen anything like it.
That was I think that was the single best performance I've ever seen in like anything. That was like Tiger winning the U.S. Open on one leg.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. It was like one person dominating everyone.
Yeah. It was fun to watch. The series started out slow. First 4 or 5 games started out slow. But
I think there was only like 2 good games in that whole World Series.
Yeah, game 6 sucked. I think it was like game 2
It was
and
5.
game 7 or something like that.
11-5.
Game 5? I don't know. What do you guys think of the rumors that are flying around about Alex Gordon coming to the Mets?
I don't think those are going to live up to anything. But new reports actually pretty recently from our boy Ruben at ESPN says Alexei Ramirez, or what's his name? Is that his name?
Yeah. I was hearing Michael Morse from
Yeah, I heard that a little bit. If those are our only 3 options, then I like Gordon more than anything. I said I really would rather us try and get like I would really rather us trade for like Cespedes or something, but the Red Sox.
That's what I heard a report. I don't know when the report was from, but I heard today that like the Cespedes was rubbing people in the Red Sox organization the wrong way, and they might be looking to trade him.
Yeah,
I'd still rather have Stanton. That's my guy.
obviously, but
That's my guy. I mean,
the package they'd have to give up for Stanton, it would have to be Harvey, Syndergaard, what's his name, Darno, and probably like I don't even know somebody else. It would be the biggest. It would be the biggest blockbuster trade I've ever seen.
I remember before before Wheeler even debuted, like the season before he debuted, before Harvey was like nuts. I was hearing that the Mets might trade for Stanton, and it was back when he was Mike Stanton actually.
Not Giancarlo.
It wasn't even Giancarlo yet, and it was like, yeah, we can trade like Wheeler for him maybe, and like we didn't even know Wheeler. Like Wheeler, it was the season that Harvey got called up, so it was before he
Wheeler was supposed to be better than Harvey.
Yeah.
Like, Harvey was supposed to be our number 2 guy. Harvey was supposed to just be, like, a solid guy.
Wheeler
was supposed to be electric.
Wheeler has shown that he can be, like, the electric like that. When he is very inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
But Harvey has just been... Harvey showed he's a top 5 pitcher in baseball.
Yeah. And everybody used that Tommy John to say he's not going to be as good, but... We just gotta believe. You gotta believe.
He's young enough where he can be better.
And the way that it is now, they can detect a much more minor tear, because it was a minor tear he had.
Yeah.
And they can get the surgery before it becomes anything major. And these guys come back stronger from it than they did before.
You need to get Tommy John. That's just it. Like, you just need to get your Tommy John. DeGrom got his Tommy John. Harvey got his Tommy John. Wheeler's gonna eventually get his Tommy John. You just gotta like
get it now. I mean,
you might as well get it now. They should really, like, before you get into the majors, like AAA, it should go single A, double A, triple A, Tommy John majors. I don't know. But who do you think? Who do you want in free agency? Who's your one guy?
Kadire. I really like Kadire.
But
not worth it anymore. Not worth it anymore with the Colorado offer.
A lot because of that offer sheet that Colorado
we're
gave.
probably gonna need. We would need to give him like $12 million a year for like 3 years.
I really like Melky.
I like Melky. I really do like Melky. Melky or Cruz, I think.
I think Cruz is going to be way out of our price range.
Oh yeah, he's going to be way out of our price range. People are going to overreact to his big year this last year.
Cruz went to Baltimore for 1 year so he could have a monster year so he can make huge money this offseason.
You know who Cruz cost less than in the offseason?
Chris Young.
Chris Young. Do you know who Melky Cabrera cost less than in the offseason? Chris Young.
Is it Chris Young?
It.
What else do I like? I like
Nick Markakis.
Shortstop.
Shortstop.
I like trading Murphy, probably.
Yeah, we gotta, cause he's gonna get $10 million this year, give or take, and we gotta trade him because he's gonna want like a 4-year extension for like probably 45 million, and we're just not gonna pay him that.
Yeah, I think the Mets' focus should be getting ideally Stanton. Maybe. I mean, the Mets' focus should be a blockbuster trade.
Yes.
Stanton or Cespedes or.
That's I think, or Starlin Castro.
That one, I don't really consider that as blockbuster. I mean.
I think
the Cubs are going to ask for a lot.
Give up, it would be a blockbuster.
Whatever.
Chris has given us the Oscars the move on sign. 3 guys I want this offseason. I'll just make it quick. Asdrubal Cabrera, shortstop. Cespedes, left field. 2 guys. That's all. The opposite of Francesa.
I'd be fine with Morris. I was hearing Morris rumors. I'd be fine with that.
All right. Let's do last segment. Let's do some college football. We did a little bit last week, but without our resident college football guy, Chris Baka Boom. I mean,
my bread and butter.
This is Steve is college football too. I'm just not a big college football guy.
College football might be my favorite thing to watch.
It's because you don't like fun, Owen. It's because you don't like fun.
I sit down on Saturdays.
School. I go to a small Division I AA school.
So what?
So I'm not emotionally attached to college football.
I don't just care about my school's football team.
I love watching college. Like I love watching college football, but I'm not like attached closely like you guys are. Like every week, like you guys' hopes have actual like implications. Like I root for Notre Dame, but there's no reason why I should root for Notre Dame. Like you go to Wisconsin, you went to Virginia Tech. Like I don't know. I feel like that's the reason that I'm not super college football.
You're missing out. It's the best thing in the world.
I've been watching it. I'm not saying I'm not watching it.
Chris, Wisconsin snuck back into the rankings this week.
Damn right we did.
25.
We picked on the newcomers of the Big Ten. Just pooped on them. So
who do they have? Who does Wisconsin have this week?
Purdue. That's gonna be we're gonna roll through that. And then the last 3 games are pretty cool. It's Nebraska here, at Iowa,
and Minnesota's been pretty good actually. Has Minnesota still been good? I know they started off hot.
They lost to Illinois, which is a bad loss.
Never want to lose to Illinois.
Oh.
Loved the rankings when Notre Dame started at 10 and now they're still at 10 a week later.
I don't get it.
I honestly think Notre Dame's better than 10.
Yeah,
I think they should be. I think they should be like 6.
Yes.
The only thing is,
we were going through the rankings last week,
and Stanford's Notre Dame's best win, and Stanford's like 5-4.
Okay, but these other teams don't have a best win either. They have a best loss. TC these teams hold on, I'm getting the rankings.
I don't know if that was factual, Owen.
The thing that kills it is that the Big 12 completely hokey pokey each other. Like they all have one loss really. Like all the good teams.
Notre Dame's got Arizona State.
Other than TCU.
Yeah, if Notre Dame wins this week, they'll move up to 5. They'll move up a lot if they win this week. Arizona State's good.
Alabama is the most overrated team. I don't know if Notre Dame's better than them, but they are super overrated. They are not 5. Here's 1 through 10. You guys probably already know it, but Mississippi State, Florida State, Auburn, Oregon, Alabama, TCU, Kansas State, Michigan State, Arizona State, Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I obviously believe they're better than Arizona State because I think they're going to win on Saturday. I think they're better than Michigan State. I think they're better than Kansas State. I think they're better than TCU. They should be 6.
I think Notre Dame's better than Arizona State.
Was TCU 9?
TCU is 6.
Okay, yeah, no, that's where they should be. Maybe 5. I would probably put them at 5.
I think TCU should. I think TCU should be above Alabama. I think Alabama should be 7, behind Notre Dame, and TCU.
Where did Kansas State come from? They came out of nowhere. They were like 20. They were in the 20s last week.
I don't know who they beat.
They only have 1 loss.
They only have
I
one
don't know
loss.
who they beat though. They beat. I'm looking at their schedule right now.
They beat
They
Auburn.
they lost to Auburn.
They beat Oklahoma.
Did they really?
But
Yeah.
That's what got them there.
but Oklahoma, they're 15. Yeah, that got them there. But
They beat Oklahoma. They won in Oklahoma.
yeah,
And they're getting the benefit of the doubt because the Big 12 has been very strong this year.
yeah, and that they gave. That's what got Notre Dame into the number 1 spot. When they were in the national championship, they went into Norman and beat Oklahoma.
And
They
Kansas
loved
State
that.
and Oregon lost in the same week.
Yeah, this is a huge week in college football.
Yeah, that's a big week.
Every week's a big week right now in college football, and that's the beauty of college football. That's why we love November. That's why we love the last 4 weeks of the season.
I'm officially
Anything can happen on any Saturday.
I'm focusing. I'm going. I'm leaving the NFL. I'm leaving it. I'm checking out. That doesn't mean anything because I'm still going to watch all the games. I'm emotionally checking out, and I'm going all in on college football.
Yeah, I mean, I think Notre Dame is better than Arizona State, but I don't know if they'll beat Arizona State because it's at night at Arizona State, and today is Pat Tillman's birthday. I think they're probably going to have a big ceremony for him, and I think they're going to be so pumped up. They're going to be like, all right, we have Notre Dame under the lights here, and they're just going to win on pure emotion. Because that's 50% of college football wins is pure emotion.
Arizona State's not a plus. Arizona State not an easy place to win, especially with those damn Pac-12 refs.
Yeah, Pac-12 refs are. You saw what they did to Wisconsin last year.
Wait,
Exactly.
I thought when it's inter-conference, then they use different.
Home teams refs.
Yeah,
That's baby back bullshit.
you're telling me, Odawg.
It
Plus
doesn't matter.
Wisconsin and BCS bowl game last year.
It's true.
Doesn't matter. Notre Dame's gonna come in there, lay a spanking on them. Let's see.
But Kansas State plays TCU this week.
Yes.
So one of them is going to end up getting fucked there.
One of them is fucked.
That's why these rankings don't matter yet, because everyone plays each other.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but I love that. They just give us something to talk about, and I love rankings. I love lists, and this is the best list ever.
Kansas State plays TCU. Notre Dame plays Arizona State. Alabama plays at LSU, which is that a night game? Because at LSU at night is impossible to win.
LSU isn't
I'm
ranked.
sure they'll flex that to an
LSU is ranked 16.
I don't know. Oh yeah, they're just in small letters.
Yeah, 8 o'clock. You cannot win in LSU at night.
Chris, you know who's ranked ahead of Wisconsin?
Every other team that's ranked.
Duke.
Yeah.
Duke's number 22.
They only have 1 loss.
Yeah. I didn't know that. It's pretty nice.
That being said, Wisconsin would kick the absolute
They
living
would
daylights out.
literally rip Duke's balls off.
Is West Virginia the only 3-loss team in the top 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, but look at who their losses are to.
They lost.
Yeah,
They have some really good losses.
yeah.
Played a
they
tough
lost.
game against Alabama. Almost
Oklahoma.
beat TCU. Beat Oklahoma. Who's their other loss? Is it Kansas State?
No, they lost to Oklahoma.
Oh, they lost to Oklahoma.
Lost to Oklahoma, Alabama, and TCU.
Then who they beat somebody really big though. That's it.
And they play Kansas State.
Big 12's good.
Big 12 is good. The thing that's going to hurt the Big 12 is not having a conference game.
Yeah. They got to change that. Why don't they have that?
Same with Notre
Because
Dame.
they don't have enough teams. You need to have a conference game.
Maybe if Notre Dame balled up and played and joined a conference, then they wouldn't have that
Well,
problem.
Notre Dame would join the ACC if they joined a conference.
Okay.
They wouldn't join the Big 12.
Well, what did it was everyone left a couple years ago. Missouri, A&M, and Nebraska all left.
Yeah.
They used to have a conference. They used to have a conference game.
Um, you guys want to wrap it up?
I'm ready. We
All
did a
right.
good job today.
Yeah, I finally got my college football fix with a real college football guy.
In case you didn't notice, because it's the first thing I noticed, this was the week of the haircut. These two guys both got haircuts. I didn't get the memo. They're both clean shaven. I just came in here, raggedy ass Owen Condon. I mean Odawg. I suck at that.
Dude, you're giving out government names now. You're giving out government names.
All right. That is episode 7 of I named it Odawg Podcast just for this one.
We're changing that.
The gang's back together.
The gang is back together.
There you go.
Peace, bitches.